What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, man? Check it out. I'm Rob Odie. I'm in Studio 39, aka the Bear Cave. And you know what it is, man. It's Wednesday. It's True Exposure Live, brought to you by Spotlight39. So make sure you do what you do. Subscribe, give the video a thumbs up. That's super important for YouTube. But more importantly, let's spread this thing across social media. Look, Spotlight39 is all over TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. So make sure you follow, like, share, all the above on all social media so we can get these kids the exposure they truly deserve. That's what it's all about. Hence the partnership between Spotlight39 and True Exposure. So with all that being said, man, let's get into the show. We got some super special guests. More importantly, I got another co-host, man. I got another co-host. You met him last week. We're going to meet him again. Let's bring him on, man. What's going on? How you feeling?
Hey, it's another day in paradise, as one of my good friends says. And I guess I did a decent job enough to be called back and kind of be pulled up in the ranks.
I like it. I like it. So look, I'm excited, man. I think you're going to bring, a whole different level of excitement, right? I think you're going to bring a whole nother level of analytical points of views because you got real detail last week, and just your introduction, man. So with that, let's give the world a little snapshot of who you are, right? A little bit about your past. Maybe tell us a little bit about what we get to look forward to, and where do we get to see you first on this championship 7v7 circuit?
Yeah, I think those are some great questions. And again, I'm just extremely appreciative of the opportunity. Originally from Dallas, Fort Worth, like I mentioned last week, state champion with Euless Trinity. And so, kind of instilled some values in that regard. Dad had the opportunity to the NFL, but even more so, Georgia Bulldog fan. I mean, I'm not biased to anybody, but the dogs, national champs, I get down with
Okay.
them pretty heavy. Um, as far as that's concerned, in college, worked with the SFA men's basketball team. So Coach Underwood at Illinois now, Coach Boyden at Oklahoma State, a couple other coaches elsewhere. Was pretty hands on with that program, and basically recruiting is in my blood. So love it, breathe it, sweat it, you name it. I love recruiting. Have the opportunity to contribute with 247sports.com. But even more so, I was really appreciative and thankful for the opportunity to have Championship 7v7 reach out to me and bring me on as a senior sports writer, and give me the opportunity to cover numerous of their events across the country, and really bring a national platform for myself to then turn around and bring it right back to the kids. Because
Big.
in my eyes, the more my platform grows, the more I can actually have influence to call a coach and say, this kid deserves a scholarship. Because yeah, I'm writing articles, yeah, I'm covering these kids, but then day I want them to have the most opportunities possible. So I have a background in radio and television. I did some stuff with ESPN3 while I was in college, went to school for radio and television. So this is just kind of right up my alley. But I know I'm right in your world right now. And so you have to bring me up to speed. I have to dust myself off a bit and, you know, learn a thing or two from you. But I think I can bring some flavor and some spice,
Good
especially,
deal, man.
with the new brass hat.
I was gonna say, man, you got the fresh crispy one this week, right? So you get to break that out
Yeah,
in
listen,
sunny Florida. We get to see you, live and in person in Florida, right?
you will see me live in person in Florida. I'll be jumping on a flight Friday. I'm excited to meet some of those guys that check in, and really excited for the competition that will take place. The big thing for me is seeing guys compete, right? It's awesome to check out their Twitter or them to tell me how much of a dog they are, but I like the intangibles and I love competition. Otherwise, what are we doing this for, right?
So there it is, man. There's the competition, sunny Florida, right? We've got one event, but it doesn't stop there. Championship 7v7, man. We doubled down this weekend. So we got half the team going to sunny Florida. Gary's going to love it. I know my guy Josh is super going to love it, man, because he was struggling in the cold in Gatlinburg. But look, for the other half of the team, boy, they're going to wish they were in sunny Florida. Looking at the forecast, I think they're looking at like the upper 20s, lower 30s. But look, we're bringing to a new market. We're bringing the game to a whole new market in Illinois, man. Illinois, the Midwest Classic. Super excited. We got a lot of great squads already registered, locked in. So it's going to be a big weekend, man. Lots of media coverage all across social media. Can't wait to get into it. But let's kind of rewind the clock a little bit. We can't forget about this past weekend, the Rocky Top Classic. It's an affiliate event, right? So it was in beautiful Gatlinburg, Tennessee. The picture in the background, man, that's just not a picture. That's not Photoshop. That was real life. This is the field. And you're going to see that in the recap video that we're about to drop. So without further ado, let's get into the recap, and then we'll bring on our first, special guest. So check it out. We lost audio at the end of the video, but nonetheless, all is well. I got my guy, none other, the man, the myth, the legend. I got to meet him in person. What's going on, Chris? How you feeling?
I'm good, man. How about yourself?
I can't complain, man. Look, I'm excited to be in Virginia. It was about 68 and sunny today compared to what I had to work with, this past weekend in the mountains. So I'm excited. But nonetheless, man. So I want you to meet my co-host Brandon. Right, great dude. Hope you got to check out the intro. He's going to be joining us on the circuit. So at other events, you're probably going to run into him. He's our senior. What's your official title? Senior writer.
Senior sports writer. Yeah.
There we go. So perfect. So let's get into business, man. Let's formally introduce yourself. Tell the world a little bit about who you are, what you do, what your organization is, and just anything else that you want us to know about Ball Hawk, MPA, and what you do, man. And then we're gonna get into a little bit of the tournament. Then we're gonna talk about some of your guys.
Sounds good. Yeah, I'm Chris Smith. Go by hashtag CSS on Twitter. Been about that business, been in this game going on 14 years now. So I've worked for some of the top companies in the land, 247 Sports, Rivals.com, NUC, and now I'm basically running for myself in a business I've kind of created and put a niche in to where I handle a lot of camps. I do 7-on-7. I do scouting. I have a recruiting service, and then among other things. And yeah, so we are dead in the midst of 7-on-7 season because we just had our first tournament this past weekend with Ball Hawk U and MPA. Have another one coming up this weekend down in Dalton, Georgia, and then our big Music City Classic next weekend here in Nashville. So while everything is still going with recruiting and scouting, we still got to add in the 7-on-7 and camp season as well. So right now it's pretty busy.
I like it, man. So Brandon, talk to him a little bit about the Rocky Top, man. Pick his brain a little bit. Let him recap since you couldn't be there in beautiful, rainy, Smoky Mountains.
Well, I guess first and foremost, how is the weather in your mind?
Well, to be honest with you, I've been to the Gatlinburg Classic for like 4 to 5 years now, so I'm kind of gotten used to it being cold and windy up there. You still can't get fully engulfed into that cold weather, especially up there on the mountain, but you kind of deal with it as you continue to be up there.
Yeah.
But I'm lucky to be down back here in Nashville where we had 76 degrees today and sunny, so it was pleasant. But otherwise, the competition keeps you warm as long as you're invested in it.
Absolutely. So how do you feel? You have experience, right? But every year you have a new set of guys. Maybe there's, the seniors graduating, or maybe just guys transitioning into basketball, baseball, whatever. Usually football players stay pretty consistent. How do you feel like your team handled themselves in that environment and amongst the competition?
Well, that's interesting because while you still get a lot of similarities between players between each class you run through because talent is talent, it's the mental makeup that you end up running into between different players in each class. So like this past weekend, we had one team that performed pretty well going, I believe 4-1 or 5-1 on the weekend. But then we had other teams that struggled going 1-3 or 1-4. And so for a lot of those teams and a lot of guys that played at Rocky Top, it was their first experience ever doing the 7-on-7 stuff, or let alone doing 7-on-7 against other top level competition. So being that is the first tournament, especially for a lot of guys, you can get humbled. You can, get a little deer in the headlights kind of look at you sometimes if you don't completely understand what you're doing. And it usually takes a few games, if not sometimes a few tournaments, for everybody to get acclimated to that type of competition. So yeah, no, we had a very strong mixed bag of results last weekend to where we had several individuals that had strong performances, but collectively as a team, it was a learning experience. And that's how it'll continue to go, especially the more we play. But I feel good about our program. I feel good about our teams. We have tons of talented ball players down here, especially within our program. And with me at the forefront, scouting the state and being involved with Ball Hawk and NPA, you can trust I do my very best to make sure every single top player that's in the Middle Tennessee area plays with us. And if I don't get them, that's not my problem. That's theirs. So, but yeah, I feel pretty good about how we're going to do going forward. I'm curious to see how we perform this weekend in Dalton. Especially this weekend's more of a learning experience for next weekend, which should be a very big 7-on-7 tournament here in Nashville with the Music City Classic. But yeah, overall, I feel pretty good. I mean, it's all a teaching and learning moment as we go in. And I think our kids are embracing the teaching and embracing what they need to be doing and the competition level they're with. And I just think it's going to get better from here.
That's big time, man. So, hey, real quick, let the people know how many teams you brought. Like, what was the number of teams that you brought? Because I was looking at the bracket, and I felt like I saw Ball Hawk or like MPA represented in every category across the board. But you tell me, how many squads we bring?
Well, in grand total, probably with Ball Hawk U exactly, we had 5 teams, but we have affiliations and we have a thing we like to call the syndicate down here, where we have multiple organizations that work with each other throughout the state. So we try to make ourselves one big family that kind of feeds into each other.
Okay.
So we also had 2 teams based out of Chattanooga called Tennessee Wolfpack, who's got the MPA brand. And then we actually had one of our main high school teams not make it to the tournament. So we could have had 8. But we had a bunch of guys on that particular team going through basketball, which is, postseason play right now. So you kind of got to deal with that a little bit. So yeah, no, we would have had 8, but in grand total, we had 7.
So we had a lot of kids, right? So talk to us about some of these kids. Let's talk about, obviously, touch on some of the big names that, most people are going to know because they're 4 or 5-star kids, right? But then let's talk about some of the kids that we probably don't know their name just yet that are going to be, something to look out for. They're going to become something special.
And before you go,
Gotcha.
one name that I do need to hear is Martel, because I do know about Martel. So go ahead.
Well, then I'll go ahead and start you with Martel Carter. He's actually a Tennessee kid that is actually playing down in Rome, Georgia right now. So
Mhm.
there's a lot of Tennessean in him, and he is a young guy that still has a lot to learn, still developing, still understanding who he is as a football player and taking the path that he needs to. But from a talent standpoint, he already looks like a physical college prospect that you can see in about 2 to 3 years that will fill into his frame much more, that will continue to grow a few more inches possibly. And the athletic skills are already there to where you can see him step out on the field and be rangy, be a ball hawk, you could say. And yeah, no, he's full of energy too. I mean, he's a character as well, so he kind of brings that certain swag to the field that you look for in certain players. But yeah, no, I mean, he's got a bright future ahead of him. He's just one of those guys that just has to keep on developing and learning his craft. And the more he embraces every little detail part of the process, the ultimate player he'll become. Talking about our ball hawk teams up here in Nashville, everybody's going to know this name from a recruiting point of view, and we're glad and lucky to have him. And that's tight end Ty Lockwood out of Independence High School. He's currently committed to Ohio State, has been committed for several months. And before I even mention about his skill set, he is a great human being with high character that brings every single bit of the leadership qualities that you want from a football team. I mean, he is the ultimate teammate, the ultimate worker. Personally, I think he's an NFL player waiting to happen, barring any injuries, barring any big setbacks, anything like that, because he brings literally everything to the table that you want in a professional. And he continually stands out no matter where you put him, whether it be 7-on-7, live football, camp settings. He excels every time he steps out there. And he did this weekend in Rocky Top, where I don't have the exact numbers, but I think he produced at least 3 to 4 touchdowns and hauled in and was the go-to guy on his team, making several catches. Um, a teammate of his who is actually his quarterback for Independence that just picked up his first Power 5 offer yesterday. His name's Cody Pagock. He's about 6'3", 180 pounds, great arm, great mechanics. The way he feels himself in the pocket is like a mature young freshman because he doesn't get wavered, he doesn't get scared of pressure, and he doesn't get scared of the moment. Pittsburgh was the first one to pull the trigger on him yesterday, and that's a big offer to pull in, being an ACC offer. So that'll only swing the door open for many more to come through. One guy I've got to mention, and he's got some work to do when it comes to the classroom a little bit, but I'm telling you, he is elite. And I think I might have mentioned to you, Rob, over the weekend, and that's Demetrius Bell.
Yes, sir.
He's a wide receiver going to Blackman. This kid is elite when it comes to separation off the line of scrimmage. He is so quick, twitchy, and athletic and long, but he's like a wild stallion out on the field that he's untamed and with like untapped potential that the moment he refines everything and hauls it all in, you got yourself someone like Barry and Brown, the wide receiver from Pro Cone that signed with Kentucky last year. He's built just like that, if not a little bit faster.
Oh, I know you got some more. You brought 7 squads, man. Let's give the
I got
people
some more. I do.
let's give the people what they want, man. We want exposure for these kids, man.
I got you. I wanted you to catch up a little bit. I ain't done.
All right, there we are.
I know the wide receiver I want to mention is, and he's a guy that's on my particular 7-on-7 team. I was able to coach him this weekend, and that's Anthony Crowl, wide receiver out of Lebanon. He may not look the biggest when you step on the field. He's about 5'9", 160 pounds, but the dude can go. Like when I say go, that means he's got a quick step off the line. He's got explosion through his route. He knows how to separate, and then the elusiveness that he has in the open field is D1-esque. And the way he played this past weekend against some really good DBs opened my eyes and told me that I think he can make it to the D1 level. And one of the biggest plays that he had that made me think that was there was a DB jumping his slant route, and he had enough smarts to understand to go behind him into the open field where he was, and he made that call on the move. And sometimes it's hard to find players that understand or have enough smarts to figure that out within the moment. And the moment he did that, I was like, okay, that guy's got a little something about him that a lot of people may not know, that if he just keeps on working and developing his craft like others, that, yeah, I think he can get there. Another guy I got to mention, Ethan Crisp, linebacker out of Mount Juliet, close to a 4-star status. I personally think he is, and personally think he's one of the best coverage linebackers in the country. Um, Definite consistent worker that if you pull up any of his film or any clips that he's had from camps over the last 2 years, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. He's very, very smart, understands who he is, understands his position, and knows what he has to do to stop routes. And then, like, he's the type of guy, well, especially in today's football, that you got that hybrid outside linebacker, the ones that can cover downfield a little bit but play out in space. He's exactly that. And that's why he's got schools like Florida State, Oklahoma, and a few others looking at him right now, on top of already having offers from several SEC schools.
And what class is he in?
Another guy to mention. Do what now?
What class was he in again?
Ethan Chris was 2023.
23. All right,
he's
perfect.
a part of this class right here. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. A 2024 guy, a young guy that I want to mention, is a safety out of Oakland High School here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, named Steven Ellison. He's a guy that's already holds offers from Florida Atlantic, Kentucky, and a few other FCS schools. But the way he performed up in Gatlinburg last weekend opened my eyes as well when it shows to his maturity. He's a guy that we've got to keep on, pushing along, understanding the process and getting mature towards the process. And this weekend up in Gatlinburg was a good step in the right direction for him, where he broke on a consistent basis, showed the range to track it down in the back of the end zone or close to the sidelines, but also was able to make the calls and hold the keys for the defense on a variety of occasions, to where he helped other teammates get placed in the right situation. He's a guy that I really think that the more he embraces exactly who he is and the potential that he can be, he can creep himself up into a 4-star definite Power 5 guy. Now, he holds the Kentucky offer, but with a 2024 kid, you never know how these offers are going to end up coming about when it comes time to his senior year. So that's why he's got a lot more work to go, but definitely the tools are there.
That's awesome, man. So, handful of kids. Were you taking notes, Brandon?
Oh, I already have every kid written down.
I love it.
Maybe connecting after this.
I like it, man. That's what it's all about. So, look, man, obviously it was great meeting you in person. I definitely appreciate you jumping back on and kind of recapping, the Rocky Top event from your point of view. But more importantly, I appreciate you really talking about these kids, spicing them up. That's the idea, man. That's what we want to get involved with. So, look, man, before you go, I'm going to give you the floor. I want you to shout out anybody and everybody that supports you, right? Obviously, you're a grown man doing grown man things. But obviously, there's probably some people out there that show you some love and show you some support that's been there for you through your time, man. So go ahead and just show them some love while I queue up our sponsors, and we'll get the next guest going.
No doubt. First off, I appreciate you guys for letting me come on. You do great stuff. Continue to keep it up. Continue pushing for the kids, communities, and everybody involved with it. Definitely got to show a shout out to at Ballhawk on Twitter. That's my 707 program, alongside Buck Fitzgerald, which is at NCEC-recruiting on Twitter. We work hand in hand in building this program together down here. Got to give love to my man Carlos Younger out in Knoxville at Tennessee Gridiron Scout. He helped me get deeper into this business years ago when I needed help. So I definitely got to give love to him. And to everybody else in this state, because I constantly get feedback from parents, players, coaches, how much they appreciate what I do. I want all of you to know how much I appreciate you and you keeping me involved and keeping me in the loop on everything you have going, because if it's not for you, I'm not doing what I do. So I definitely appreciate it. And I definitely appreciate you keeping me, in the mix with everything, because I wouldn't be CSS on Twitter without you. So definitely grateful and thankful.
That's big time, man. That's big time. So, look, man, it was a pleasure. We'll be in contact as always. Keep doing what you do. Can't wait to see you at some more championships, MV7 tournaments, so we can see them boys continue to ball out. Till next time, man, I appreciate you, all right?
No doubt. Be blessed. See y'all later.
All right, so with that being said, man, we got to bring up the official sponsors of Championships MV7 and our circuit. So let's get into it, man. We got the big sponsor, powered by Zenith Loop. That's right, Zenith Loop's got your headgear covered. And then we got powered by Yoked. Yoked is that little powdered substance that when you look at it, you might get a little confused, and then you taste it and your mind's blown. It does big things for the body. Then we got Flip Sled. Flip Sled, we're gonna have some samples for you to try out this coming weekend in Florida and Illinois. And then we got Grip Boost, man. Grip Boost, they got the hands covered. You got Destroyin'. He's got exclusive pair, right? We got Tyreek Hill. He's got exclusive pair. And you can get those on circuit at Championships MV7 events. So without further ado, let's find out who the next guest is, man. These boys are ballers. So I'm real curious to learn about the 305 Jaguars, man. Coach, owner, how you feeling? This is my guy, Brian. Hey, Brian, do me a favor, man. Do me a favor. Unmute yourself.
I'm feeling good. How y'all feeling?
There he is, man. So look, I love having you on the show. I appreciate you taking the time out your evening to do this, right? You could be doing a number of things down there in sunny Florida, but you're on TruXposur Live, brought to you by Spotlight39, because it's all about the kids in your organization, man. So look, this is my guy, Brandon. That's my co-host, right? You're going to get to see him, in sunny Florida when you guys travel back up. And so with that, man, let's talk a little bit about the Jaguars. So go ahead and tell the world who you are, right? First and foremost, tell us who you are, what you do, a snapshot of what, the organization represents. And then, we'll get into some good conversation.
I'm Brian Allen. I started Jaguar 305 3 years ago because the big teams down here, the sponsor teams, they weren't giving the kids in my area a chance. So I started this off, and we've been balling ever since. 3 years, and we strong now, man. Now we beating them.
Yeah, so when you say strong, man, y'all bring some what do the kids call it? Some drip, some swag, whatever the new terminology is, man. I'm getting old, but look, y'all bring it. Y'all stay fly, man. Like, those unis are something serious.
Oh, you gotta have that Miami flavor, man. We always represent with the Dolphins and the Heat.
Man.
All that Miami, always.
And then you got the big chain. I think my guy Jacob, right? Jacob was rocking the chain at one point at the tournament, right?
Yeah. You only get to wear the chains we put out something special, man.
All right. So tell us a little bit. You said that you started because they weren't giving some of the kids in your area the opportunity, right? So you've been doing this thing for about 3 or 4 years, right? So let's talk about some of these kids that you've been given the opportunity to. What are they? How are they overlooked by others? And then they come, and they rock with the 305 Jaguars, right? And then y'all are just ballers, man. Like, the film don't lie. Y'all can play some ball.
Hey, people get caught up in the politics, man. It's like it's a copy and paste world.
Okay.
They see one kid do thing, everybody copy and paste that one kid. Ain't nobody do their homework no more. We go out there, we go to the schools, we go to the little league games, we coach these kids, and we do our homework. We don't go by names.
Okay, I can respect that. So Brandon, man, talk to him about some of the kids, man. Let's dig deep into some of these kids. Let's give them some true exposure, man. That's what this is about, right? Let's help these kids, get some exposure so they can live out their dreams of playing that next level ball, whether it's NAIA, D2, D3, D1, Power 5, JUCO, I don't care, right? College football is real-time football, and more importantly, they're going to get that education because they got some talent in the classroom and on the field. So let's talk about some of these kids, man.
Well, first off, Coach, I'll ask, what are some of the intangibles you look like? You said you do your homework, right? And one thing that's always big for me is the intangibles, the stuff that happens off the field. And it sounds to me, just based on the passion that you exuberated, that you care about that information. So I would just like to know what you look for from an intangible standpoint. And then second to that, could you list off some of those guys that fill that box, that check off that number? Some of the guys that you really represent and feel like represent your program.
Well, I got to start off with the Maybelline Twins. They've been with me since they were 6 years old when I coached Little League football. Now they're my seniors. They're my leaders. They really recruit the teams to me. They bring me the kids, and I fill them out, and I work them out, and I train them. Them my top boys right there. Then I got Marvin Sims, two-way player. He played in the state championship game this past year, Florida State championship game. He scored a couple of touchdowns in that game. He overlooked. I ain't signed yet, but he's gonna put on a show for you. He ain't coming to the first tournament, but he coming to this show. He's coming this time. He's gonna put on for a show. I got Shayon Walton, senior receiver, DB. Two-way player. On the younger pound, I got Eric Nelson, receiver, one of the best talented kids down here. Willie Anderson, receiver, DB. He played quarterback for JV last year on the 15U. He's just an athlete, man. We look for athletes who can play both ways.
So what are some of the what age groups are we bringing to Florida? Right, we got 18U. What other squads we got?
I got 18U, 15U, and 14U.
Okay. So we got one of each, or are we bringing multiple in each bracket?
No, one of each.
Okay.
I'm bringing 50. I'm bringing like 50 kids. We're going on to Weber University first. We got a visit with them,
Okay.
and then go to Orlando.
Okay, look, man, you took the question from me. You know, I'm seeing a lot of a lot of campus stores now en route to different tournaments. So I was going to ask, with you making the trip up north, did you guys have any stops, ahead before you got to sunny Orlando? Well, probably a little less sunny than what you got with down in Miami, but what I'm working with in Florida, in Virginia, I take Florida weather all day. So you said you hitting Weber State?
I hit Weber University. We're gonna
Oh,
go there. We got an appointment there at 1:00. I was trying to get UCF because I got a couple kids who play for me, who play for them, but it didn't work out. And
okay.
they're gonna cut me out and see their old coach.
Good deal, man. So let's dig a little deeper in these kids, man. So let's talk about some. You named some. I think you started off with the Twins, right? And you've been rocking with these kids since they were 6 years old. Now they're your seniors. Let's dig a little deeper into them and let's learn a little bit more about what they bring to the field. What makes them those leaders that you can depend on year in and year out. What makes them those guys that are able to go out and recruit other kids, right? To bring them to your organization. What makes them those guys? Because what you talk about, in just a little sample size, that's what coaches want. That's what they want to see, right? That pure leadership and the fact that they're already doing this on a 7-on-7, circuit, that speaks volume to what they can bring to these organizations and these colleges, right? So, let's talk a little bit about their skill set. What positions do they play? What are some of their greatest strengths? And ultimately, let's show them some love, man.
Well, they play DB. Both of them being recruited by top schools right now, but they haven't made their mind up yet.
Okay.
They go to Booker T. Washington High School. They just represent, man. A lot of teams try to get them, but they stay down. They stay lower. They ain't had to come with me. No, they ain't had to come with me, but they stay down. They stay lower. They could have went to a bigger program, but they
Okay.
helped build the program. One thing about my kids, it's like they like old school. They stick together. They play in their neighborhood. They don't go out and try to play on the best team. You got Northwestern got 100 kids. Everybody want to be a part. They build their own. They stay in their neighborhood. They old school. They like me. I guess because they've been around me since they were 6 years old. They they're gonna one day they're gonna lead this organization one day.
Look, man, I like it. So, what about some of the other guys that you mentioned? Right. Let's dig into some of their strengths. Let's find out what makes them next level talent, both in the on the field, but as a person as well.
I got Eric Nelson, receiver, Miami
Okay.
Norland High School, freshman. He played varsity on his freshman year.
Okay. Okay. So he's a class 25 kid.
Class 25.
Love it.
15U.
In high school again?
Miami Norland.
Got you.
Willie Anderson, Miami Norland. He was the quarterback on JV. He moved up to varsity. 15U kid.
Okay.
I got Santana Carlos. He's straight out the park, Little League Park. He was my MVP at the first time at the kickoff classic. He was my MVP on defense. He had about 6 interceptions that whole tournament.
So my question for you, sorry, Coach, I just wanted to ask, as far as 7-on-7, what brings you the most joy as far as coaching? What is your why outside of keeping the kids within the region and giving them opportunity? What else brings you that why and that joy to be a part of 7-on-7? It's really taken off in the last 4, 5, 6 years. What do you see with it? What do you envision?
I really enjoy 7-on-7. I like it more than the past, to be honest with you. I see 7-on-7 going far. I see it being an Olympic sport one day. Everybody laugh at me when I say that. I see it being an Olympic sport one day. I love that it ain't 1,000 kids. You get the bond as a family. I see a lot of my kids from 7-on-7. They become lifelong friends. Man. They never met each other. They meet each other at tryouts, and they stick together all the way to from 14U all the way to the varsity. They stick together. They share each other posters. When one do something good, do something good, they share each other posters. I just enjoy the love. I love traveling with them. Last year I took my kids to Dallas, Texas. A lot of them ain't never been on the airplane before. Just the joy to see them going to Dallas, Texas. We went to the Cowboy Stadium. They got to run routes inside the Cowboy Stadium. It was a beautiful sight, man. It was a beautiful sight.
Change their lives, right?
Huh?
I said it changed their lives, didn't it?
Changed their lives. And a lot of them ain't been out of Miami.
That's
And
big,
I
man.
get to help them with. That's why I try to travel to different things. There's a lot of little tournaments down here, but I want them to see other competition. I want to see kids, you know. So I love the traveling. I love the traveling part of 7v7. I love the tournament. I love 7v7 tournament too, because it's a lot of competition. You get to see a lot of kids that you see about on newspaper. You get to play against them. I'm looking to play Cam Newton them team. I'm going to Atlanta. We trying to play them, man.
Look, man, I just got to watch a couple of the cam squads, man. They got some dudes on there, that's for sure. But I think you guys can play ball with them, man.
I'm trying to get them, man. Look for me to be in Atlanta, man.
Okay.
I want that head to head, man.
He said, look, he wants it all, right?
Yeah. Ain't no running, man.
No, the best part about it, man, it's only gonna make your kids better, their kids better. Iron sharpens iron. That's what we say every day, right? I think that's big time. And the fact that you want that competition, that speaks to what you want to get out of this for these kids, because you want to go to the competition. You want to play against the quote 4 and 5 star ranked kids. You want that level of competition because it's only gonna make your kids that much better, and it's gonna put your kids on that bigger stage, right? So when we talk about stage, we talk about championship 7v7, man. You coming back up north to rock with us, right? You could you could be rocking at other tournaments. Miami's loaded, right? You guys got lots of tournaments down there. So why you continue to rock with championship 7v7, man? We first and foremost, we appreciate it. I will speak for everybody, and we say thank you for that. But why us, right? I'm just curious. I like to hear other people's point of views.
I like the competition, man. I like the competition. I like to see other kids. The first tournament, the kickoff classic, y'all ain't give us a chance. Y'all already had in the Super Bowl. Y'all had certified dogs and 24K. Y'all had them two playing in the Super Bowl, and now one of us make it. We left with that championship.
Yes, you did.
I told my kids, I said they ain't give us a chance. They already know who's gonna win. They ain't give y'all a chance. We won every game, and we won. Certified dog was the best team we played. I got to get them. They're a great team, but all the rest of that stuff, man, it's trash.
Look, yeah, you can say that with confidence because you guys played some ball. That's what you did.
Hey, we looking to do the same thing. We looking to do the same thing. We looking to come to national free.
So let's talk about this weekend in Orlando, right? So we got you're bringing all 3 teams, correct?
Yes, sir.
So what can we expect this time? We saw what we saw, in the first tournament. But what are we getting this time, man? You guys stepping it up. You guys bringing new gear. A new level of competition, man. What are we going to see from the Jaguars coming up from Miami, man?
I'm just gonna use y'all logo. We coming to play football. We play football.
Look, man. I'm gonna have to screen record that little section right there because my man Gary and Jacob and Steve and the whole championship 7v7. That's literally what we go by. We play football, right? If you can't do it on Friday nights, we don't want you to do it at our tournaments. We want to keep it clean. We want to keep it family friendly. We want to keep it professional. But more importantly, man, we want to keep it competitive. We want to make the competition level big time for these kids. So that way, when the fall comes around, they throw them pads on, man. They done learned something. They learned something this offseason, right? We don't want you to go out there and just, talk trash all game, push and shove, try to fight, do all those things, in a tournament atmosphere. We want you to come out and play ball. We want you to get better. We want you to play against the best competition. So when Friday night hits, man, you put them pads on. It's wartime, right? It's time to put in place what you worked on this offseason during your championship 7v7 time frame. So that's what it's about, man. So the fact that you said we play football, that made my heart happy because that's literally what we talk about. So, Coach, man, we got a few more minutes before Jalen's available. He's wrapping up another interview. So look, feel free to shout out anybody and everybody that's been here for you. That helped you get your organization up and running. Wife, family, kids, friends. I don't care. Whoever you want to thank. You let us know, man, and then we'll let you get out of here, and we'll bring Jalen on.
First and foremost, I got to shout out my wife for putting up with me for being going on weekends and stuff like that.
Smart man.
Hey, she got to clean it up uniforms. I got uniforms all over the place during this time of year. I got to thank my coaches. They've been with me since day one, man. Coach Aaron, my varsity coach, man, my right hand man. You know, he been with me since day one. The quarterback, Aaron Peterson, is his son. The varsity coach is his son, man. He one of the best out there, man. Underrated. He put on the show last time. He looking to do the same this time. Coach E, my 15U coach. And he go pick up the kids. He do all the stuff I used to do when I was young. He remind me of me when I was young. I did have a car full of kids coming to practice. Now I see him doing. I say, boy, you're gonna be the leader of this one day. I had to coach him when he was a kid in Little League football. Now he coaching my 15U. It's a crazy time, man.
Look, man, it's the nice part of the life cycle, man. Like the fact that y'all stay connected that long, and now he's rocking with you as a coach. That's big time.
Yeah.
That speaks to exactly who you are as a person and what you represent. So that's big.
Yeah, and I just want to thank all my parents for sticking with me, man. I want to thank the sponsor Grip Booth, because they sponsored my varsity team with the free gloves, man. 25 pair of gloves for my whole varsity team. That we coming out this weekend with the Grip Booth. We got to represent the Grip Booth.
Look, that's a nice promo for Grip Boost right there. Let's go.
Yeah. We rock. Hey, Grip Booth, we're gonna rock it out for you. We're gonna have that thing on film for y'all this weekend. We're gonna give y'all something to advertise this weekend.
Yeah, I was gonna say I believe Grip Boost is gonna be there in full swing this weekend.
Yeah. They come to see this show.
Yes, sir. Good deal, man. So look, Coach, it was an absolute honor and pleasure. Best of luck. Yeah. Safe travels coming up north. Continue to do your thing, man. Continue to help these kids. You're doing it for the right reasons. And I know the parents and the kids are appreciative. So continue to do what you do. Hopefully we'll get to see you at more championship 7v7 tournaments. Until next time, man, stay safe, stay healthy, and best of luck this weekend, all right?
All right, thank you, man. Thanks for having me, man.
Absolutely. So look, we're gonna bring on these sponsors again, right? We got Zenith Loop. Let me take off the comment right there, right? We don't want that to get in the way. We got Zenith Loop, which powers the entire circuit. We got Yoked again. It's that little pouch of powder, man. Until you try it, don't knock it. It will change the game. Then we got Flip Sled. We will have a sample for you to try out in Florida, in Illinois. So check it out. Great. And then we got Grip Boost. You heard my guy talk about Grip Boost. Grip Boost rocking out with the gloves. They got the grip. They got everything you need to catch the ball and look good at the same time. We got exclusive pairs from Destroyin'. We got exclusive pair from Tyreek Hill. They are available on circuit while supplies last. So without further ado, we got another guest. Who will that guest be? It's a student athlete. Let's get into it, man. What's going on, my man? How you feeling? Can you hear us? Can you see us?
Yes, sir, I can. How y'all doing?
Look, man, we are blessed. We are live. We are having a good time. I feel like you know my guy Brandon, so I don't have to introduce him to you. So I want you to introduce yourself to the world, man. I want to learn a little bit about who Jalen is. So tell us who you are, where you're from, your graduating class, right? The team you rock with. We got the logo, 24K. Y'all are balling out, by the way. Continue to do what you do. We'll get into that in a minute. But, let's talk about you, man. Let's learn about who Jalen is. So go ahead and tell the world who you are.
Okay, my name is Jalen Hayward. I'm class of 2024. I'm a DB/safety. Well, I list myself as an athlete, but that's my title. And I have a 3.0 GPA.
My man. So we got the grades. We still got some time left in high school, so you're only going to get bigger, stronger, faster. So that's exciting, sure. Right? You rock with 24K, so you're at the big event, you're getting the big time exposure, right? So
yes, sir.
I'm gonna start, since my guy Brandon already knows you. I'm gonna start off with, I want to know what are some of your biggest strengths that you recognize, and then I want to hear from Brandon, with his detailed breakdown of what you got to offer.
I'm a leader at heart. Well, I don't see myself as leading, but in the room, you can just tell I'm a leader. I bring the energy. I just bring the energy around the team.
Okay, so you keep the team, together, composed. Win or lose, man, y'all are a brotherhood. Y'all stay together, right?
Yes, sir.
Good deal, man. So what about on the field? What sets you apart from the guy beside you?
That I'm a dog.
Look, man, hold on. I'm gonna pause you there. I'm a dog, man. Look, I'm a 36-year-old dog. I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna play ball because I feel like I'm a dog. But I tell you what, I know my biggest skill set is hanging out on the sideline with a camera. I want to know what your biggest skill set is, man.
My biggest skill set? Probably I want to say that's hard. I don't really know. That's
We
a
got
hard question because
footwork, man. We got, just hip work, agility, IQ. I know you got it.
I want to say IQ. I can see the play before it happens. Let me put
My
it like
man.
that.
I like it. So Brandon, man, look. He's being humble. I want you to give us the real, because that's what you do. Give us the breakdown of what we want to know about Jalen on the field.
Yeah, well, I think sometimes he undersells himself, and there are moments where he oversells himself, right? And I would say this to him, whether it was on a phone call at 9 o'clock, when he goes to bed at 8. Kid goes to bed at like 8 o'clock. It's weird. He does what I'm talking
We
about.
got him for about 5 more
But
minutes before bedtime.
you're right.
Yeah, yeah,
But I
yeah.
think there's always a story to everything that I think will always grab people's attention. So me and him met at the All American Bowl Combine, whatever you want to call it, in San Antonio to start the year. One thing that stood out to me was his competitive drive. You know, in that setting, one thing I'm always looking for is getting the reps versus who's standing back and not getting the reps. Everybody says, quote unquote, they're a dog, and me and him talked about this. But it's great to say you're a dog, but everybody says that. So how do you show that you're a dog whenever it's the big moment like that? Because there were some of the same guys who said that were not getting reps, and he was a guy who was getting reps.
Nice.
One, if you can't see it right now, but physically he has a collegiate frame right now, and he missed some time uh, in the past 2 years, but then every single offer he's got, people have like been able to see his growth from the first year to the next year. One thing that stands out to me as well is I had opportunity to see him compete not just on a one-on-one setting, but with a team, with a group of talented playmakers. And the one thing I really liked is that he was truly a leader. Like he cared about winning the game and was really upset when they finished in the top four. With that being said, there are other parts of his game that I'd want to improve, and I'll even start with the off-field stuff. Yeah, I love the fact that he goes to sleep early, but his 3.0 GPA, that's going to hinder him a bit. I think he's smarter than that, to be honest. I've had enough conversations with him. We've talked enough behind the scenes where I think he's a 3.5 guy, right? And, it's a challenge to him to say, well, what are you going to do about it? Because you have 2 years to get that up, because people are going to view you a certain way, whatever your GPA is. They're
That's
going to say
it.
either you're slacking because we know you're better than a 3.0, or they're going to say, oh, that's all you can get is a 3.0 kid from Florida, because where you're from is also determinant on how people view you as well. Um, with his game, I think, ultimately he can play over the top. I don't think he's a corner personally. I think he is an over the top guy, and he's getting some of that interest. It's just a matter of how much he'll stretch, right? And we've had this conversation as well, how much he'll stretch. But I think when a team gets him, the quality that he's going to bring to the locker room, paired with his athleticism, can be crucial. But based on the conversation that we had, I always challenge him to say, you're not done. And if you feel like you've arrived, really, our relationship is null and void, because I personally don't really try to gravitate to guys who feel like they're greater than, because at the end of the day, without a team and without like team success, you really are nothing.
That's it.
There's nobody, if nobody shows up in the stands, well, who's there to see you? And that's one thing I've challenged him on time and time again. And that's one thing that I do like, is that he accepts the challenge. And he knows very well after this call, and I just called him out about the GPA, that I'm going to follow up in 2 or 3 months and see how that GPA has changed, because he doesn't just do it for himself. I've had an opportunity to talk to his mom. He does it for his mom. He does it for his family. He does it for like where he's from. He's not a kid who wants to, sprint down the street and go to one of those power schools. He wants to do it for the people he loves and appreciates. And that's kind of like my spiel on why I had him on early. That's why I brought him up last week. And that's part of why I'm so passionate about him. But at the end of the day, he has to be passionate about it more than I am.
Look, man, that's strong words, right? He gave us the real. That's what we wanted, and
Yes, sir.
you borderline make me speechless on that, man. That's big time. So let's kind of switch gears, right? So we got your point of view. We got Brandon's point of view. Now let's kind of change from pads, right, and what your skill set is on the field there, and let's kind of jump to 7v7, right? You rock with us at a championship 7v7 tournament before, right? 24K. You guys are exploding on the map, doing real big things. So, what makes 7-on-7 special? How was your experience with championship 7v7 events? from a
well, we
player's
only
point of
played
view?
in a from a player's point of view, it's good. We only played in a few so far, so this weekend should be fun. But Championship 77 is it's fun. You get active. There's competition. Like I seen 305 Jags are in there. A Miami team. That's competition.
Big time.
I see
Yo,
that
them dudes
competition.
are ballers, man. Like they, look, we slept on them on the first tournament. Then when they came up from Miami to
Yes, sir.
Orlando, boy, they played some ball and they showed the
Yes,
world who
sir.
they were, man. And he made it very clear he's not running from any competition. He's coming for it all. He wants his kids to play against the best talent. And I think on the flip side, right, you're going to be part of that best talent that's going to sharpen iron, right? You're going to sharpen your iron. They're going to sharpen theirs. It's going to be great competition, man. So go ahead. I just had to throw that in there.
Yes, sir. Jack's Knights. They beat us the first time we played in Championship 77. I'm not gonna lie, they beat us twice. I don't know how, but they did. I give them props to it. That's competition too.
Okay. So
So
we,
that's
we
like
got
good
big level
magnitude.
competition, right? So let's talk about competition. Brandon already touched on it, man. So he kind of stole part of the piece. But I like to go from football to the classroom. And we talked about a 3.0. 3.0, that's not bad by any means, right? 3.0 will get you into a lot of doors. But he said he firmly believes that you're better than 3.0, right? You're more of a 3.5 or above kind of guy, and you're doing it for many other reasons and other people bigger than yourself, right? You want to make mom happy. You
Yes,
want to you
sir.
want to you want to do it for your city. You want to do it for your neighborhood, right? You want to do it for a lot of reasons. So I think you got the ability to get into the classroom, really lock it down and make moves, right? Get to that 3.5. Put yourself in a position where it's not just some schools come calling, right? Because you got the skill set on the field, you got the body of a grown man, right? I mean, we watch this rerun, people aren't going to know that you're just a kid, right, in high school. So,
Yes, sir.
with that being said, let's learn a bit about who you are. You are still a young man, right? You're still honestly a kid. You're still growing to become your own. So outside of football, outside of sports, let's talk about you, man. Let's give the coaches and the world a snapshot of who you are, what you like to do, whether you're a sneakerhead, a video game dude, an anime guy. Heck, you might play
Sleeper.
piano and listen to Beethoven, man. I even had a dude that collect bunny rabbits. No joke. After Friday night lights, he'd go home, he'd snuggle up with his bunnies, and he would just mellow out. So I've heard a lot of things. I want to hear what your story is.
Outside of school, I really just sleep. I work out. If I'm not sleeping, I'm probably watching my brother because my mom's always doing something and being productive, so I'm trying to help her. Um, and if I'm not watching my brother, I'm probably out with friends. That's
Okay.
really it.
So when we're out with friends, man, let's peel back the onion a little bit. What do we like to do when we're with the homies, man? Do we go shopping?
If
Are we playing ball? Are we playing Fortnite? Right? We playing Madden? We playing a pickup game in the backyard? What are we doing?
we're usually bowling or just driving around, listening to music, walking around.
Okay.
That's really it.
So bowling, right? We got to continue to peel back, Brandon. I want to learn a little bit more, man. So you like to bowl? What's a good bowling score
Nah,
for you?
I'm not good at bowling, but some of my other teammates are. And he start like rolls like 200. I roll like 120,
No,
110. I'm
the
not
better
good at
question
it.
is, look. Do you have your own bowling ball?
Nah.
All right, so look, then you got an excuse. If you own a bowling ball, you better be throwing like a 200 or something crazy, right? Because then you're a bowler, right? So that's like people asking me, right? You play golf? Yeah, man, I love playing golf. Oh, so you're a golfer? No, I ain't a golfer.
Hmm.
I play golf, right? By no means am I a golfer, but I enjoy being out there, just hitting the ball, mellowing out on the green, right? So that's cool, man. Let's dig a little deeper. I'm having a lot of fun right now. I want to know. Friday night lights, right? It's go time. You're getting hyped. You're getting amped. What's in the ears, man? What's on the playlist? What's getting you ready to go?
Yeah, I'm
What's on the
curious too.
playlist? This year what was on the playlist was Kodak Black, Super Gremlin. That was on the playlist, and then a little bit of Future.
A little bit of future. Okay, I can dig it, man. I can dig it. So let me check on the other guests. Brandon, what else you got for him before we let him get out of here?
Well, I would just love the opportunity for him to share, who's offered a scholarship so far and, what that has done for him as far as growing into the opportunity? Does that make him have more drive, or does that make him step back and say, I figured it all out? So I would just love to know who's offered, and I think other people should know who's offered as well.
All right. So my first offer, I always got to go back to my first one, and it was FIU. I will never forget the day I was going to the UCF camp. I got a phone call from my coach, and it was from FIU, and he was like, they want to offer you because you got great size, they like your leadership, and you're always in front of the line. And ever since that day, my life just changed.
So the bigger question is, after that first offer, do you remember what you did afterwards?
I went to the camp and I ran a 4.5 40 at UCF.
No, I'm talking immediately after the offer.
Oh, immediate after.
It's blank.
I called my mama.
Okay.
I told her
Amen.
that I just received my first offer, and I was just excited.
Look, man, it's a life-changing event, right? Honestly, you got that
Yes,
phone
sir.
call, and you were able to call your mom and say, look, I made it. All the hard work, all the sacrifices that she put in, right, to help you along your path, it's paying off. And the best part about it, man, you're still young enough. You're going to continue to grow, get bigger, stronger, faster, and really let the world know who you are. And that's a scary good thing, because you're only going to get better. And that's a beautiful part of what we get to look forward to, man. So look, before we get off of here, I want you to shout out, show some love to your mom, anybody else that's in your corner that helps you along the way, friends, family, teammates, coaches, whoever. Then I'm going to let you get out of here, man, because I know it's bedtime. It's 8 o'clock.
All right. I want to thank Coach Mitch and Coach D for allowing me to join 24K. I want to thank my uncle, Coach Tyrone. I want to thank Coach Younger, and I want to thank Rockledge High.
Okay. So shout out to everybody that's been there for you, man. Brandon, this is a great dude, man. I'm excited to watch his future unfold. I'm going to be watching you from afar. Hopefully, I get to watch you up close at future Championship 77 events. Go grab some sleep, man. I'm sure you're getting up, before the roosters crow in the morning. I appreciate you jumping on, all right?
Sure. Thank you.
Yep.
Perfect. So look, I'm going to bring up the sponsors again. We got to call them out. That's what it's all about. So I'm going to shout out Zenith. They provide the headgear. We got Yoked. They provide the little, powder deliciousness. Then we got Flip Sled, right? Flip Sled doing real big things. More importantly, you get to experience Flip Sled in Florida and Illinois this weekend. And then last but not least, we got Grip Boost. Grip Boost got the gloves, man. Destroying, Tyreek Hill, exclusive pair on circuit. Grab them while they last. Now let's get into it. Final guest of the night. I'm excited, man. Who is it? There he is, man. Live. HD, man. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. How y'all doing, man?
Look, I can't complain. I'm enjoying this random weather that we're getting here in Virginia. One day it's 30 degrees, the next day it's darn near 70. But I'll take the 70-degree today. So look, I'm gonna let you go ahead. Do you know my co-host? You know who Brandon is, right? So
Yes,
y'all
sir.
get to have some good banter here in just a few minutes. But I want you to tell the world, tell me, who you are, what you do, right? Tell us a little bit about the organization, and then we'll have some good conversation. We're gonna spice up some of these kids, man. That's what it's about.
Yeah, man. Can't wait, man. Yeah. So, my name is Antonio Griffin. I'm known in the DFW area as Coach T. I'm the owner, head coach of Lionhearted 7v7 and Lionhearted Sports. My day job during the day, I am the college recruiting coordinator, director of athletic performance, and head track coach at Colleyville Covenant. It's a private school out here in the greater DFW area. Yeah, man, just I'm a coach's son, and just using this platform after my playing career to kind of give back to the next generation. I know, we hear all the time about these kids getting, the wrong information or not the real information that they need to be getting. And so after my playing career, I didn't think it was my calling, but after being around coaching for so long, it was the natural fit where I felt like the Lord was calling me in this path of life. And so I've been in it for now, I guess I'm 28, started it when I was 23. So it's my 5th year being an active coach, but I've been doing it since I was about 17, really, because when you're a team captain, you feel like you're another coach. When you're, when you're a leader in the locker room, you feel like you're another coach. So yeah, man, it's been awesome. And yeah, it's been good so far. So, and I appreciate y'all having me on.
Most definitely. So the team is formally called Lionhearted Elite, right?
It's just Lionhearted. So
Okay.
we first year we were Lionhearted Elite,
Okay.
and then I dropped the Elite just because when you hear the word elite, you think just over the top. You think just just always at the forefront of everybody's discussion, and we are still fairly new in this thing, and so you kind of have to be careful when you tag elite on there.
Yeah.
I feel like nowadays, especially via social media and things like that, the word elite gets thrown around very loosely.
Yeah,
When
man.
I came out of high school, it was the ESPN 100, not the ESPN 3. And to be a part of that 100, you were elite.
Oh, most definitely.
300 sounds like everybody's getting a little, yeah, you get some love too, I guess.
Look, man. So I think elite in terms like that kind of got messed up. When fellow Texan Vince Young dropped the dream team when he went to Philly, right? And we saw what happened there. And unfortunately, I'm a big Eagles fan, but you can't be calling yourself a dream team and you're not QB1, right?
Right.
that's that's just reality. But no, man, I respect that 100%, man. So Lionhearted, you said you've been rocking a couple of years. You know,
Yes, sir.
let me get into the why championship 7v7, right? Why
Mhm.
continue to rock with us on our circuit, our events compared to some other options that are available?
Well, I'm gonna tell you, and Brandon knows how I feel about this, because I Brandon knows how I get when I talk about topics that I'm very passionate about. Even though we've only known each other for a little over about 2.5 months, but we both have passions and love for this. So, like I said, we're still fairly new to the 7v7 world as far as just building connections and relationships throughout this thing. One thing that I believe these parents and kids get involved in select or travel or national 7v7 is because of the exposure, right? And the opportunity to be able to compete with kids and teams and interact with parents and coaches from all over the country. I think that, and I might get some pushback, but I think that Championship 7v7 does it better than anybody in America. And let me explain why and elaborate on why. When you put out a product that is the essentially the game is the exact same anywhere you go, right? It's 7-on-7, 40-yard line, right hash where you start, 3 downs to get to the 25, 3 downs to get to the 10, 3 downs to score. Easy.
Yep.
However, what I think Championship did with partnering with TruXposur and saying, you know what, we're going to provide a different experience by making sure that at every single game, at least at the high school level, is what I've seen. There's going to be there's going to be some type of media presence that's going to be recording or covering your game. We're going to make sure that there's going to be some type of live stream for the championship games. I think they were one of the first circuits to do that. And then the player and coach interviews, the media check-ins the night before tournaments. When you talk about building an experience, bro, for 7-on-7, like bro, when I was in 7-on-7, dog, man, it was you showed up to a little local high school, you got your squad, y'all jumped out the truck. If you said I'm better than you, we finna go at it for 3-4 games. If I don't feel like I got you in those 3 games, and we gonna play a fourth one, just like bro, it was 7-on-7 wasn't this.
It was
And
basically the step up from backyard football, right?
yeah, bro, come on, man. And we just had wristbands. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
so
Look, man, I'm team green.
I think
You team blue right now.
right, you know what I'm saying? You remember shirts and skins.
Yeah, that's
Is
look.
what
That
you
was
remember.
it.
You know
That
what I
was
mean?
it.
And I think that now it's kind of taken on a life of its own. And I think that championship really cornered the market and said, you know what, we have an opportunity to provide a platform and use our platform to help kids. Like I was just watching y'all on here with the kid Jalen. I think he's from Florida. Is that
Yep.
right? A kid like that, man, if championship's platform isn't there, maybe he doesn't get his first offer from Florida International. Maybe Brandon doesn't ever come across y'all's platform. Just little stuff like that, man, that I think that it provides such a global um, impact that I don't think otherwise would have caught on if championship wouldn't have taken the step that they did.
That's big time. And you say global, right? We,
Yeah.
we are just that, right? We are full blown international. I mean, we just made an
Right.
announcement on Twitter. I think it was yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, that we officially, have our partnership and director in Mexico, right? We had Emmanuel on last week from Kings of Europe out there, doing his thing, man. Phenomenal dude, doing it for the right reasons. And then, we got partners in Canada. So when we get to the World Championship, right, in Texas, and boy, there's competition from
Are
everywhere.
we pulling up? Don't worry.
I like it, man. So Brandon, man, go ahead, jump into conversation. Let's talk about some of the kids because obviously you're going to know a whole lot more about these kids than I do. So I want y'all to just kind of bounce off each other, talk about the kids. Talk about some of the kids that we already know that rock with you, right? But then let's really dig into some of the kids, that we want to know about. Some of the kids that could use the
Absolutely.
exposure.
Well, I
Brandon, I'm gonna
think
let you
one thing
start.
that is important to talk about with him is that he's about development, right? He can get a player who has potential, but his whole platform, his whole program himself is about developing these young men mentally, and then with the game of football physically. And we had a argument, agreement, conversation about it fairly recently that helped us come to like a head of positivity.
Right.
But it's about a potential player who probably be a 4-star when it's all said and done, maybe 3. But I think he just is has a heart for the kids and a love. And I would love to hear from his perspective because sometimes he has an eye that sees a little bit different than I do. Some of his top 5 to 7 guys, because there's things that I can still learn even if I've known the kid because he may spend 10 days out of the week and it doesn't even sound like it makes sense, but 10
Right.
days out of the week with the kid and I may spend 1 day out of the week.
Sure.
Okay, that doesn't make sense, but it makes sense.
Right.
So yeah, I'll let you kind of like dip into it and share, some of the guys yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. And before I get on that, to piggyback on what Brandon was saying, I didn't really harp on it because I didn't want to have a long intro, but Lionhearted is a full college preparatory program. So all of our coaches played at the collegiate level. Some of us even played at the professional level. So what we try to do is we try to use as much of our still collegiate connections and collegiate structure to provide our kids, even though it's 7-on-7, we don't have every day with them, to provide that type of experience where a kid can be mentally, emotionally, and spiritually prepared for what the feeling and what the days follow after they sign on that letter of intent. Because that transition is completely different. Everybody wants to get recruited. Everybody wants to go P5. Everybody wants to go Group of 5. Everybody wants to go D1 and all that kind of stuff like that. That's cool. That's great. If you bust your tail, guess what? Everybody's doing that. The moment you sign that letter of intent, what's next? Because now all the people that have told you yes all along, they did my job, wipe their hands of you, they good because they essentially at that point you feel like you're done. What we do is we take a completely full circle approach and we say, look, there's still you just got started. You went from a big fish in a little pond at high school. You're now going into where you felt like that wide-eyed freshman when you came into high school. It's about to feel like that, but 10 times magnified because the same cat that's in your recruiting class, he was a dog too. And I
Mm-hmm.
I heard the thing that Brandon said, or Jalen was saying, I'm a dog. Well, dude, the 25 to 28 kids that are going to sign in your 2024 class are going to be dogs too,
Yep.
right? Who's going to step to the front? Who's going to poke their chest out and say, Coach, what I got to do?
Who's going to be that alpha?
Who's going to do all the right things in the classroom in summer workouts? Who's going to set up college? Who's going to set up summer workouts with their teams that are voluntary? Who's going to be the first in the building and the last one to leave? Who's going to pick up that last towel? Before it's stuff like that. And so that's what Lionheart is about. But to kind of go on some of the guys that we have in our program, man, I got to start with one that he doesn't get the respect that he deserves. And I think Brandon knows exactly what I'm about to say. This kid he's an all-state track kid, all-state receiver. Does some of the things that reminds me of one of my high school teammates. He's a little bit bigger, I think, but Jacob Trembled out of Fort Worth Christian. He's a private school kid. He's a 10'8", 100-meter kid, about 190 pounds. I'd probably say he's about 5'11", maybe 6 foot. He's in that area, so I'm going to say 6 foot. But soft hands, just does everything right. He always seems to be open, which is it's weird, man. But Jacob Tremble's definitely one of the ones that I believe is a for sure Division I football player, whether it be Group of 5, Power 5, whatever the case may be. Somebody's gonna get a steal with that one in the class of 23. We have Jaden Allen, which I think everybody pretty much around the country should know about that name. He's out of Aledo High School. He committed to the University of Texas as a sophomore. He's a defensive back. I think long term he'll probably end up being a safety, just because I think now in high school, they're going to put him on the number one receiver. But I think long term with his ball skills and his versatility, he'll probably end up being a safety. Then we have Elijah Jackson, a linebacker from out of Archer City, which is up by Wichita Falls. He's started getting a whole lot of offers as a freshman going into his sophomore year. Plays a little bit of everything at his high school. I think it's a 3A, which is one of the smaller classifications here in Texas. But 6'1.5", 6'2", 215, 210-pound kid. Just running back, receiver, quarterback, pretty much anything that they need him to ask. He plays linebacker for us because being a coach at the collegiate level and seeing what those type of guys look like, that's what I believe that his long-term position is going to be. Keo Fleeks, 6'4", 6'5" kid out of Wichita Falls, has every type of just ability that you could ask for a 15-year-old, which is crazy to say that, for a 15-year-old high school receiver. Definitely still have to work on some maturity things with him, just kind of helping him understand the importance of why we want him to attack every day at 110%, because there's somebody behind him that may not be 6'5", that is scratching, clawing, and fighting for that 6'5" guy spot. And so for him to trying to get him to garner and understand, like, man, I do have an opportunity, and these dudes are really, they love me. They're not just here trying to be my football coach. Then we have a sophomore quarterback, Ty Brown, and Logan Cundiff. I'm gonna start with Ty Brown first. 6'4", 6'5" kid, man. Whip for an arm. I'm talking his arm is live. I think long term he'll end up being a 4-5-star kid. He'll end up getting offers, I think, by the end of this spring when spring ball ends. He'll probably have his first P5 offer by the time May rolls around. And he's kind of the same situation with any young cat, just decision making, helping them develop and to be the best version of themselves. because we're talking hopefully a 10-year career, not a 2 or 3, right? So helping them understand and guiding their development on where we ultimately see that they could be. And then I would also say Logan Cundiff is another live for an arm, unbelievable athlete. He's a quarter miler in high school, runs on the 4x4 and the open 4 for his high school. But he's one of those kids. I think that he's just a gamer, man. He's a naturally born leader. What's cool, man, this week we have a group text with the team that he's on, and he every day has sent a Bible verse and a message of what that Bible verse means to the 31 dudes in this group text. Kid's 15.
That's big.
If that ain't a leader, if you can't follow that, you can't follow nobody. Like that's just because you're looking for that, So I'd say that, and then, oh man, I'm gonna get in trouble. And then some of the sleepers, I would say that we have. We have a kid out of Lovejoy High School. His name is Roderick Maps. He's a corner. Well, he plays corner for them. I think long term he's probably a safety as well, or a slot corner. Probably he's a bigger kid. Long, rangy, beautiful arms, about 5'11 and a half. Probably about 185, 188 pounds. I think he has a frame to be about 215, and to be kind of a box safety. He is somebody that I think is going to open up a lot of eyes for some people. Yeah, man. And I think, like I said, I know some of them are going to get mad at me, but don't want to go too many. But those are probably the 5 or 6 kids that I think are going to raise a lot of eyebrows for some people as we go into the 7v7 season.
So Brandon, man, he did a lot of talking. He talked about a lot of dudes, man. So, you don't have to go in detail or as detailed because I think, he did, he's doing some service. But I'm curious. You know who he's talking about, right?
I'm so sorry. My wife is locked out. I gotta go lock the door.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, I mean, I have a pretty good understanding for the most part, and like I said, it's all about development for him, and that's what the program's about. But several of the players he mentioned, I mentioned Fleeks last week. I mean, when I saw the kid, he played for a 3-7 program, so you have to teach him how to win, right?
Yeah.
But every single attribute about Fleeks is big time D1. It's just helping him learn how to win on an everyday basis. He has a cousin who has multiple D1 offers right now for the rival high school.
Okay.
Logan, I didn't even know that about Logan, to the point where I'm going to message him and potentially call him after this. Logan is, again, you're teaching the kid how to win, but also he has winning attributes. He has winning traits. And that's what I liked about him initially. I think a program where he's going to be able to spin the ball and use his athleticism is definitely something that stands out. He mentioned the Ty Brown. There's going to be the things he mentioned is going to happen with Ty Brown. But at the same time, 15, 16-year-old who was first opportunity to play 7-on-7, and it can be eye-opening what happens when you play against some athletes that you usually don't get to play against. And actually, me and Ty had a conversation last night. I said, I think it's beautiful that happened to you. He had a rough going, but also his dad was an All-American whenever he was coming out. And I'd rather it happen to Ty now than it happen to Ty down the road, because my big thing, your big thing, coach's big thing is that we give these kids opportunities to get uncomfortable, because when you have an opportunity to get uncomfortable, you can win, right? And so one thing I've just noticed about his team is character. And I mean, it's hard to get past it. Whenever you talk to him right now, you can just sense in the piece that he has the type of character he has. Now, you turn on that, you go to the game. Oh, it's none of this like, no, he's jumping and he has some swag to him and all that. And he will talk your ear off just like I will. But high quality individual, I'm sure he'll follow his guy Spotlight, this right after. He'll probably tag him, et cetera, because he is about that exposure. And if he's mentioning their name, he wants them to get exposure, but he also wants the guys who weren't mentioned to get mad enough to do something about it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, that's what it's like in college, right? Nobody, if I feel like I belonged in the Heisman Trophy voting, but these dudes that I believe I'm better than got the voting, I'm gonna be pretty mad for about 7 months, right? I'm be pretty upset, and I'm gonna make sure that the entire month of September, going into October, exactly what my name is, right? That's exactly how 7-on-7 is. To his point, is it can be very eye-opening for some kids that have never been in that type of environment, because it is fast, it's quick, there's a whole lot of talking.
Whole lot of talking.
Championship does a good job of letting the boys play. It's football at that point, man. Now they don't let it get over but they make it to it. Dude, we want these kids to be uncomfortable, bro, because at some point in life, you're going to be challenged, and you're going to have two options. You can either back up, take a step back, and say you don't want to accept it, or you step all the way in and say, all right, I'm coming with it too.
Yeah, man. Let me kind of jump in here, man, because y'all done said it each now. You got to get uncomfortable, right, and put these kids in uncomfortable situations. And one of my my best messages that I've ever heard, in my career, right. Obviously I do this, but my day job, it was you gotta become, you have to be uncomfortable to become comfortable, right? Because if you walk into a room and you feel like you're the best dude in the room, right, or you're the smartest, you got the most talent, well, you're in the wrong room. You might want to step out and go somewhere where when you walk in, right, you're not the big man on campus. You feel uncomfortable, because at that point you're going to become hungry again, and when you become hungry, human nature says we got to eat, and then that's where you become comfortable. So I love that terminology, man. It's a big point, because no matter what you do in life, it fits. You've got to become, you got to be uncomfortable to become comfortable. So that's big time.
We tell our kids all the time, man. Before we break them out, we always say, hey, who wants to go to college? We got 117 kids all do this.
We all want to go to college, right?
And I go, yeah, right. And I go, well, who wants to go to college for free? They all raise their hand, right? And I go, well,
who's got that GPA?
Yeah, right. Facts. And I tell them, I go, well, that's uncommon. Going to college, being a college athlete, going to college for free, that's uncommon. So you've got to be willing to do uncommon things to get to uncommon places.
That's it.
Right. And in doing uncommon things, you're probably going to end up at some point being uncomfortable, because that means you're having to challenge yourself. I don't know too many people. I don't surround myself with too many people that don't challenge themselves, because if they're not challenging themselves, they're not going to challenge me. I'm the type of person, I'm the type of cat, bro. Like, if you're not pushing me, you don't need to be by me, because I'm affecting and pushing and trying to push these kids. So if you're pushing laziness on me, then I'm gonna push laziness on them, and I can't have that. So that's one of the biggest things that we talk about within Linehearted. We talk about protecting the pride, man, because our pride is not only you, it's the team, it's your family, it's your last name. We ask our kids all the time, bro, like, do you have a last name? Yeah, coach, I do. Well, protect it. Do you ever what name is on the front of your jersey? Linehearted. Well, protect that too, because 9 times out of 10, if you protect your last name, you're gonna be just fine protecting Linehearted. And that is uncommon. It is uncommon to play select 7-on-7. It is uncommon to have somebody invest time, love, and effort into you. It is uncommon. So we're trying to prepare you to reach and go do uncommon things in life, because that's what we're here for, right? So like I said, Brandon knows, man, I can talk about this all the time, because I didn't have this growing up. I was fortunate enough to get adopted at the age of 11 and fall into a great and blessed situation, to where I was able to see my dad and my mom, the impact that they had on student athletes and young people, to where I was like, I don't know if I want to do that, because I'm not trying to be in the classroom. Well, fast forward 17 years later, and I'm doing the exact same thing that I said I didn't think I was gonna be doing. You know what I'm saying? And so, but it's because of the impact that I've seen, man. It's so cool to be able to have a kid come up to you. We have a kid at our school that's a big time recruit, and he talks to me every day about, hey, Coach T, what do I need to be doing to prepare for college? Hey, how can I get some of my other teammates to come and work out with me here at the school? Hey, you know, like today, he told me, he's flying out tomorrow to California to go visit Berkeley and Stanford. I said, bro, most kids aren't going to California to go visit Berkeley and Stanford. They're going to California to visit USC.
Right,
He goes,
right.
well, the school matters.
Yep.
Dang. Okay. That's uncommon. Right. And so having him preach the same message of, hey, bro, it's uncommon for us to go win state. It's uncommon for us to get recruited and have guys like Brandon Howard come to our campus. Those things are uncommon, guys. So we got to put in work, put butts in the seats,
That's it.
so that people, you know what I mean, people come and see us. I think Brandon said it earlier. You can be as great as you want to be, but if your team isn't following suit and everything that you're and all the championship mentality that you say you want to have, nobody's going to come and watch. I'm not trying to. I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm not going to go watch a 1-8 football team. I'm not
You're
worth my
just not going
time.
to do it, right? Regardless of who's on,
You know what I'm saying? Like,
you're just not going to do it.
I'm not doing that. But I would, especially given where we are, because I can go watch a 1-8 team or I can go watch Duncanville. So, you know what I mean? So
That's it.
it's one of those things that I think that as long as you create a culture and you create a standard for all your kids to commit to, it allows for a lot easier transition for them to commit to that. And then whenever they go out and they represent themselves and their families at a championship event, now championships impressed that they're a part of that circuit, and it just comes full circle. So,
That's huge, man. So look, I don't want to take too much more of your time, and I think we've had great conversation. I think you are incredibly passionate about the kids, and they should be forever grateful because I mean you just dug deep into each one of them and gave us a nice snapshot of who they are, what they represent, and what their future holds. From your point of view. So thank you for that,
absolutely.
and I know they thank you. So speaking of thanks, man, I got to do it. I do it with everybody. So if you watch the last couple. I want you to shout out anybody and everybody that's been there for you, right? Family, friends, coaches, teammates. I don't care who it is, man. Whoever's been there for you,
Yeah.
shout them out, by name. Show them some love, man.
Yeah. So first off, for this opportunity, my boy Brandon. Like I said, we haven't known each other that long. We met literally in January. I think I DM him randomly on Twitter and I was like, "Hey, bro, I got 2 kids. Come take a picture." Boom. So yeah. So first and foremost, my boy Brandon, my wife. She just got home from law school.
Hold on. You gotta pause that, man. You gotta start with the wife and then your boy Brandon. Otherwise, the wife might see this, man, and you might be sleeping on the couch, man.
Without my boy Brandon, so to show my wife love. So
There we go. There we go. Look, that was a good save. I like that.
So my wife, man, she's the perfect coach's wife, the perfect business owner wife. She supports me in everything that I do, especially because she knows how passionate I am about it. And then my dad and my mom. Without them, I don't think I would have become an educator. And I don't think Lionhearted would exist without my mom and dad. My brother, Storm, thank you he's the greatest inspiration to be a better man every day. Because he gave me my first niece. And so now I'm learning how to become just an uncle, a better provider and things like that. So, and then to all my parents, man, for Lionhearted, if I had named them individually, I would probably forget some, which means that some would be mad. So I'm going to say thank you to my Lionhearted parents, because without you guys, Lionhearted wouldn't exist. Because it's the time, the investment, and the sacrifice that you guys put in and allow us to pour into your kid that allows us to have the program that we do. There's a reason that at every tournament, because we're 2 years into this thing, but at every tournament that we go to, we're deep. We are 100 kids deep. So when we show up, we show up. Whether we win or lose on the field or whatever, eventually at some point, somebody's gonna, bro, we've seen that uniform like 20 times. And somebody's gonna ask about us. Where are you guys from? What do you guys do? Fourth, I would say thank you to Colleyville Covenant, because without Colleyville Covenant, we wouldn't be able to impact and inspire this next generation at the level that we're able to do it now. Colleyville Covenant is the official home of Lineharder Sports and Lineharder 7-on-7. So just being able to have that platform and that space to be able to consistently run practices, tryouts, media days, our recruiting seminars, things like that, that allows us to be a greater program and to do the things that we say we want to do. Oh, and my coaches.
You're missing nobody, right?
My Lineharder coaches, man. The same way that this wouldn't exist without the parents, this wouldn't exist without Clay Johnson, Kevin Lucas, Laquan Harper, Quan Jones, Keontae Griffin, coaches like Devontae Thomas, Mitchell Bridges, JJ Hart, Nate Hayden. I hope I'm not forgetting nobody. Preston Thurkill. Without y'all, this is has not happened at the level that we expect and carry for it to be. Our media team, I know this is gonna make TruXposur mad, but tough enough.
Hold on, let me mute the mic real quick. No, I'm playing.
Yeah. No, man, seriously. And I've been trying to connect them to TruXposur as well, but tough enough, man. They've been a godsend for us. They carry all of our stats. They do all of our videos for all of our kids. They do a player highlight for every game, so that kid is able to send that out and say, hey, you know what? I had 18 catches for 300 some yards and 8 touchdowns this tournament. That stuff like that, man, is so cool for a kid to be able to take that. And even if they don't get any offers or any attention out of it, it's something that they can personally hold on to.
It's tangible, right? I mean, that's memories that they'll live with forever.
It's memories, man. Because we talk about that all the time. Everything and anything that we do is a part of the Pride experience, right? So, between our ministry nights, with Coach Christ, between our team dinners, obviously tournaments are given, practices, things like that. That's the Pride experience. So without all the people that I've mentioned, Lineharder would not exist. And without Brandon, Lineharder wouldn't have the opportunity to be on this platform, and to kind of just share our story of why we do what we do.
So check it out, man. And this is a big fail on my part. So my guy RL is probably going to shoot me a message, giving me some crap about it. I missed my public service announcement. I do it every single episode. Typically, I try to do it a couple of times. So I'm going to do it now. So coach, right, for you and for any other coach or student athlete out there, man, Spotlight39's got an open invite. All you got to do is hit me on Twitter. We can link up. We can do student athlete one-on-one interviews. It's a great opportunity to share your story because everybody's got a story to share. And I think everybody's story can impact somebody in a positive way. So that's first and foremost. For student athletes, man, we dig into who you are on the field, right? Strengths and opportunities. But then we dig into the classroom. We want to make sure you got the grades to back up the talent because ultimately that leads to your recruiting process, which we talk about. And then we stop talking sports in general. We start talking about you. We want to learn a little bit about who you are, what you represent, and your character. So, coach, man, this is for anybody. I don't care if they're 4- and 5-star athletes or if they're 0-star, 0 recruited, 0 anything, right? Nobody knows who they are. Those are perfect young men that I got a platform for so they can share their story and gain some additional exposure. So that's just a public service announcement. It's open invite for anybody. I don't charge a penny. I do this, straight from the heart make sure you check out the website. It's got the why on it. It's deep, so I'm not going to get into it because I might get a little emotional. But that's the public service announcement. Open invite. Spotlight 39. Let's go, Coach. Man, it
That's
was
a blessing, man.
yeah, man. So make sure you check out the website. Like I said, the why is deep.
Will.
It's real deep. And with that, I fail to do it every single time. I got to talk about 39 Hearts. I close out the show every single episode I do. I close it out with 39 Hearts, which is my nonprofit foundation, to raise awareness for heart disease within student athletes. It's ultimately why I started the brand. It's why Spotlight 39 exists. I want to try to save some lives, man. If we can save one kid's life, I think that's success. And through the foundation, I do an annual All-American Cleat Drive where I raise funds and provide brand new cleats to underprivileged or kids in need across the country. I was fortunate enough to mail out a handful of Adidas cleats last year, shipped them out anonymously. Kids were blessed with them through an anonymous registration. And, it's just something good that we do as a foundation. But then we take it a step further, man, and we do heart walks at high schools across the country. So again, another public service announcement for anybody that's linked up with a high school that's watching. By all means, reach out to me. I would love to bring a heart walk to your high school. Through the heart walk, obviously we raise awareness. We make it a community event. We invite local food trucks and local businesses to be a part of it. But the big part is, man, these kids, they can raise funds for the foundation. And through that, I then give monetary scholarships to those athletes and those participants, even if they're not student athletes, because everybody could use additional monetary, amounts for their schooling. So a lot of things. Again, I don't want to get too deep because I could talk about it forever. Check out the website, spotlight39.com. It's got all the info, man. So, Coach, it was an absolute honor and privilege. Best of luck in the upcoming circuit. I'm going to dig into some of these kids, man. I'm going to find them on Twitter. I'm going to see if I can't link up and get them on the show. And with that being said, Brandon, we're going to close this thing out. Coach, it was an honor. Thank you. Stay safe, stay healthy. Best of luck, all right?
No, man, thank y'all. Y'all have a blessed night, man, and we'll see y'all at a championship in April.
There we go. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank y'all, man. Y'all have a blessed day.
You as well. All right, so check this out. Let me get the Rocky top off, man. Let's close this thing out. Brandon, give me some feedback. First show co-hosting. How do you feel?
I'm definitely excited. I'm still appreciative of the opportunity just to kind of take on this role. I like some guests with a lot to say, with a lot of talent, on their rosters and just talented individuals, people who care, seem to be caring towards the youth that they work with. I'm excited to compete, and that's something that I love, and I look forward to seeing on the circuit, starting this Friday. And really, a shout out to you, bringing the energy, bringing the noise, and really kind of helping all this thing together like glue.
Yeah, man. Look, I try. That's all I can say. I try. It's exciting to hear everybody's story, man. The guests that we had on tonight spoke highly of their kids, spoke about them for the right reasons. The organizations, are all doing it for the right reasons. And then we had a student athlete, right, who's got a ton of talent, who's got a 3.0, but we challenged him. My man Brandon called him out live. He's challenging Jalen, man. He's a 3.5 plus kid. He's got it in him. So, look, we're going to close this thing out. Brandon, it was a pleasure. We're going to do this thing again next week. We're going to recap both Florida and Illinois and then get you all spiced up for Houston, man. We got big things coming. Championship 7v7, TruXposur Live every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central. Let's go. I'm going to close it out with 39 Hearts. I appreciate y'all.